Good afternoon and welcome on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus to Amy Park on the land of the Wurundjeri people in Melbourne for a massive afternoon of the Isuzu UTE A-League season. Melbourne Victory, they may be bottom of the standings, but they remain Melbourne Victory, four-time A-League champions. And this afternoon, looking to keep their faintest of final hopes still alive. They are hanging by a thread that could be unceremoniously snipped off this afternoon by the Central Coast Mariners themselves, who bounced back last week with a 4-1 victory over Macarthur and are eyeing off the Western Sydney Wanderers in third place if they can make it back-to-back wins. Tony Popovich, he claimed his side have been playing better than 12th place suggests. There's no panic and just the one change. It comes in attack where 22-year-old Paraguayan Fernando Romero earns his first start for Victory at the expense of Nishan Velupale. There's still no Jake Brimmer and Nani, of course, out with knee injuries. While at the back, it's the same back four of Cadete, Miranda, De Silva and Guerria for the 5th game in a row now. Well, last weekend, the Central Coast Mariners needed a big result. They were without a raft of players absent through suspension, injury and international duty. They responded with a resounding 4-1 win over Macarthur. And well, Brian Kaltak is back, Nectarius Triantis is too, so is the Brazilian Moresh, but Nick Montgomery, the coach, has decided to reward the players that did so well. It's an unchanged starting 11. Cameron Windust, Daniel Hall are partnering in the centre of defence. It's A-League cap number 50 for Hall. As there we see the two benches for our two sides. Well, we say a week is a long time in football. Daniel McBreen, for the moment, the Central Coast Mariners' all-time leading goal scorer in a single season. Melbourne Victory will be hoping all can change in a week of football, while for the Mariners, having finally broken that run of 1 win in 7 with a trouncing over Macarthur last time out, they'll be hoping things remain very much the same.
Good afternoon, Robbie. Yeah, you're right. Nick Montgomery sticking with the team that got that 4-1 victory last week. We saw on Friday night Carl Viet stuck with Jovanovic and he was repaid with another goal. Nick Montgomery has prescribed to the same. His team getting it done last week, despite Brian Kaltak back from suspension.
Source of experience and calm at the back. Ball in, and it is Vukovic, who for once defies the commentator's curse. He has made an impact since arriving. Damien De Silva and Fernando Romero will be hoping he can make an impact as a starting player today. He releases Economides, brings it back onto the right foot. And that pretty much sums up Chris Economides' season, doesn't it? It started so well in that big blue up in Sydney on the opening day, but consistency just hasn't been there.
If you just watch the run through the inside here, in behind Storm Rue of Cadete, I think that was the pass. He had his run on his defender, Cadete. Did talk about the head-to-head from Cadete and Theoharis in the pre-match. Well, a fantastic forward run there. Should have been rewarded, in my view, with the pass. Harrison Steele, Max Ballard or Josh Nisbet this season, whoever's been put in that position, they have performed admirably. A lot of the grunt work for this team.
When you think also it's a side that lost someone like Marco Ureña last year during the off-season, who was such a leader for that club with his experience as well in the middle of the park.
You'd have to say their recruitment's been very good, hasn't it?
The glancing header from Romero for Fornaroli. And between them, Windust and McGarry doing enough. Theoharis with Steele. Looks up one way, then the other, trying to catch Roderick Miranda out. Rolante for Romero again. Falami, who's on the right, Economides on the left. Oh, it's a good ball for Romero, just overhit. The young Paraguayan striker gives Ben Falami the thumbs up.
You see there when Romero got the ball, his first instinct was to get central areas. Falami one-on-one. Make that little darting run in behind.
Ballard under pressure from Romero. Forward to Fornaroli, foul. Wind dust and just past the 14-minute mark. And a first yellow card of the afternoon. Well, that long ball has gone all the way through, over the top. And Bruno Fornaroli has struck and landed the first blow at Amy Park this afternoon. Well, he was just down receiving treatment on what looked like a sore knee. He's picked himself up, and if there was ever a cure for a sore knee, it's a goal, and he's got that victory lead.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay shows it's quite simple lead-up play, but it's a quite simply fantastic finish. You see here, Dan Hall gets drawn in. Fornaroli comes in and takes the space. A little deflection, I think, there, but credit to Fornaroli. He sees that Danny Vukovic is off his line and goes for it, and if you don't try it, you're not going to get rewarded. Lovely finish over the top. And we said he had the weight of the team on his shoulders. Well, he's happy to carry them. What a finish that is. Nick Montgomery will be disappointed with how easy he found that space, but it's a wonderful finish to give Melbourne Victory the lead.
And we spoke about it, Macca. At the top, mathematically, Melbourne Victory is still in it. Mathematically, everyone is still in it. At least for another couple of weeks. Economides. Romero on the left. It's taken another little deflection on the way through.
He thinks anything you can do, Bruno, I'm going to do as well. It wasn't the best first touch as the ball comes in. Economides, great play. Just looks for some support. Gets a little bobble and says, well, I may as well have a crack. He does look dangerous around the edge of the box, doesn't he? Low centre of gravity.
He's
strength.
been lively,
yeah.
Very lively in these opening 23 minutes. Jason Cummings is a player who's barely touched the ball. In it comes. And Vukovic again with that third corner for Melbourne Victory. It's not the issue for the Mariners. It's getting possession into here. Good nod down from Tullio. And then given away rather cheaply. Theoharis with the break of play, but just hesitated. Rue back in. Strong from De Silva. Ballard's nod down and played by Izzo. And here they come. Melbourne Victory on the counter-attack again. Another combination with Economides. Still Economides. And again, he had four teammates forward, unable to find them. Inside with Marco Tullio. Now Sammy Silvera. Big switch of play is a good one for Theoharis. Got plenty of white shirts in there for Silvera. And they have their first shot of the match in the 34th minute. And it was a promising one as well.
Yeah, it was a well-worked opportunity. It was a great ball across from Sam Silvera. Gary just bided his time and waited. He just sees Silvera just drifted into that area around the penalty spot, and that's not a bad opportunity. Josh Brillante almost turned into the half-time entertainment there, didn't he? Catches the shot between the knees.
Freestyle juggling. Around the world, and Sombrero on the defensive penalty spot before getting it clear.
Well, in that build-up, Robbie, you did remark on the fact that when the ball was with James McGarry, there was no one in the middle. And I think before that, Jason Cummings had made a run, but he was dragging players, and he was expecting the ball originally to go out to McGarry, who was in the space. When the ball went to Cummings, he was then drawn even further away from that area.
That's a good challenge by Steele. Now Theoharis, who hits it. Well, he looked up, felt that there were no other options and decided to try his luck and wasn't too far away.
I tend to agree with his assessment. There was plenty of dark blue shirts there and not much pressure on the ball. Why not? Inside the box, time to assess and then have a strike. And for all their due diligence in defence, that was a little sloppy.
We saw what looked like an attacking move with playing 2 up front. But what has in essence just been letting Fernando Romero off the leash to go and tackle everyone up the other end of the field, which he's done with remarkable appetite. There he is again, charging in, and he can keep running towards the changing rooms. Half-time at Amy Park, and Bruno Fornaroli has added the difference with a lovely run, his eye for goal, and a little slice of good fortune along the way of what has otherwise been a workmanlike performance from Melbourne Victory against a Mariners side uncharacteristically tame at Amy Park. Half-time in Melbourne, Victory 1, Mariners 0. Referee Jonathan Barrero sets the watch in motion, and it's the Central Coast Mariners who are chasing the game, who are chasing potentially 3rd place on the A-League ladder, who have made 2 changes at half-time and will be looking to be showing a very different face from what we saw from them in the opening 45 minutes, Daniel McBreen.
Yeah, quite lacklustre first half, Central Coast Mariners. To be honest, I'm not too surprised at the change with Dan Hall. He was at fault for the goal. On another couple of occasions got dragged out of that back line and created space. He's gone with the senior player, Ryan Caltack there. For Harris, though, he was having a quiet game for his standards. Maybe just deciding Maresh is chomping at the bit. Obviously, being out for a long time through injury and then suspension after his first game back, that red card. Maybe he's looking to make a quick impact.
Perhaps a little change in formation as well, as his Silvera trying to move in centrally, but he's been beaten out of it by Jason Guerrier. Fornaroli leading the charge. Romero to his left. Fornaroli still going. Oh, but Windust was leading that foot race, and Romero just couldn't hit the afterburners and go with him. And Bruno Fornaroli knows, in a game where chances have not been abundant, that was a very presentable one that's gotten away.
It's got a little out of hand, but nothing too much, too major. Handshakes, and it's all back into the game.
McGarry as the Mariners looking to start this second half on the front foot. They have a corner. That is their first of this match, and it's taken quickly. Silvera, his cross in, Maresh with the free header. Well, what an introduction that would have been for the Brazilian, and he knows it.
Well, he knows it indeed. Nice quick play, and it was a wonderful ball in, Sam Silvera, and he is backing off a little, but he really should be hitting the target there. Maresh just fresh into the game, maybe still getting his bearings, but that's why he's been thrown in.
Well, he made a lively start. He waited a long time for his first goal last season, but he had a little purple patch before that anterior cruciate ligament went. As here goes Falami. Got 2 at the back post to aim for. And once again, it's Windust in the right place at the right time, but Caltack can't prevent the corner. As here's Maresh diving into the challenge to Silva. It's back with Izzo and bouncing around on that difficult surface as McGarry decides to test Izzo again. And he's got 2 teammates in the middle who aren't so impressed.
Well, there's a lot more urgency in this second half, isn't there, from the Central Coast Mariners. You can see there a little bit of a bobble on the pitch. We've seen in the early moments so far.
Yeah. But they've got it again, the Mariners, and they are looking to get forward quickly. McGarry, first-time ball across the face of goal. Fantastic defensive reflexes from Jason Guerrier.
Does that include the one for the manager, or is that just players?
Just players. 6 if we include Nick Montgomery's. Romero's done well. Falami onto the left. There's Victory. They're looking for a second. Economides down to the byline, the comeback, and Fernando Romero, the Paraguayan, gets his first goal for Melbourne victory. And 10 minutes into the second half, the home side lead by 2-0. And perhaps reports of the death of Melbourne victory were a little premature.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay will show some great play down the left. We spoke earlier about a front two, a striker getting across the defender at the front post. Well, there is a perfect example of it. As the ball comes to Economides, he's 1v1 with Storm Roux. Shifts it onto that left foot, and look at Romero. Straight across the front of Caltac, nips in front of him, great striker movement. Gets his toe to it, and there's nothing Dan Vukovic can do at that near post. That's a great striker's finish. Great play from Economides. And Melbourne victory is saying, well, don't write us off yet.
Ooh, there's a solid collision. Triantis, the young Socceroo, straight back to his feet. They lost on penalties to Uzbekistan in the quarterfinals of the Under-20 Asian Cup. Uzbekistan, who this morning won that tournament, and are heading off to the World Cup as Asian champions. The first ever continental win for the White Wolves.
It doesn't make it any easier for our boys, does it? The winner, the one that knocked us out, go on to win it.
Oh, it's Triantis with the mistake, and Fornaroli looking to make it 3, and the Mariners' defence is creaking and rocking under the pressure here. Oh, and now perhaps Cummings will have something to get excited about. He lays it off to Maresh. Maresh looking to finish high into the near post, top corner. Cummings was knocked over off the ball. Referee sees nothing untoward.
He just did well, just to use his body. Miranda got caught under the ball a little bit. Maresh here, when he gets that strike away, looks like he's aiming for that near top corner.
Good switch of play for his former central midfield partner, Harrison Steele, who's now at left back. Now, is there a free kick there? Yes, says the referee. Romero, who's been flying into everything. Melbourne victory players are furious. Now the referee is having a word from the assistant. It's a yellow card for Fernando Romero. The entire Melbourne victory squad following Jonathan Barrero around the pitch at the moment. Ooh.
Yeah, he follows through. He does get the ball, but he follows through. Yeah.
And the Mariners have just seen it.
Brian Caltac will know personally. He's saying, well, you've done this to me earlier this year.
Brian Caltac, who's one red card away from being the first player in A-League history to be sent off 4 times in a season. He does know what he's talking about. And now the video assistant referee is here, and what has turned out to be a fantastic match of football for Fernando Romero so far could be about to turn sour.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? Yes, he does win the ball, but that's irrelevant. It comes through.
Well, he's going to go and have a look at it himself, and Fernando Romero is getting that sinking feeling. Coming across. No yellow card. Back into the pocket. Out comes the red. And the dream is not yet a nightmare for Fernando Romero, but he'll be missing next week, at least. And on the day he scored his first A-League goal, he also picked up his first red card, as this becomes red card number 42 of this season, the most ever in an A-League season as well. Once they conceded that second goal, it knocked the wind out of their sails, as that red card is it going to change much when you haven't really brought about the change of luck on your own? When you haven't felt that momentum swing in your favour yet? As here goes Economides. He is growing into this match. The cutback. Guerrier closed down. There is Fornaroli. Back doing the defensive duties and doing it well. Brillante takes over. Fornaroli wants it to keep going though. It does, but via Chris Economides. Economides still. And now the effort. Great save, Danny Vukovic. Well, Cadete, he had to wait an age for the ball to be released.
Gee, he makes some good underlapping runs, doesn't he? You saw one in the first half, and again here, look at that run. And if Economides just rolls that in front of him, he can run on and strike straight away. In the end, it comes back to him, and it's a good strike anyway, forcing Vukovic into the save.
Fornaroli's looked the part today, though. Quality shining through as there goes Cadete on the charge again as Economides. Well, he's getting closer and closer. He's been a shadow of Chris Economides so often this season, but now he's looking the real deal.
Well, they've shown this is an outlet today on a number of occasions. Economides has been a willing runner, and on that occasion almost bends it into that far corner.
Cummings, Maresh, Marco Tullio, Silveira. There's plenty of attacking options out there on the field. Nisbet, the little touch from Silveira. Cummings with just half a sighting at goal. Can't curl it back around.
Well, we mentioned earlier that he only needs half a yard of space. Nice little flick from Sammy Silveira as he spins on the right foot, looking to bend it.
And this Amy Park hoodoo, where they have never won in 13 previous matches against Melbourne Victory here. As that's a great ball to the back post from Silveira. And Cadete doing the defensive job on Marco Tullio as Ballard from the edge of the box can't keep his shot down.
That was a great opportunity. Ball to the back post. See here, Silveira comes inside. Tullio found himself in acres of space. His first touch was fantastic. The reaction from the Melbourne Victory defenders, look at them swarming on the ball. 2s and 3s.
There were a few eyebrows raised when he left Perth, weren't they? Coming to Melbourne Victory, but Nick D'Agostino left as that ball's back post and claimed by Izzo. As here's Bayliss. Back for Ballard. Shape to shoot. Ballard still on the left. Blocked by Brillante. That's after the international break. The steal over the top. Izzo comes and claims it. It could yet happen. Is the dream alive for Melbourne Victory? They remain bottom with this win, but they are now just 6 points behind Sydney FC in that finals position. Disappointment for the Mariners, joy for Melbourne Victory. The race for the finals is still on. It's finished here at Amy Park. Melbourne Victory 2, Central Coast Mariners 0.